in a world where loyal companions await. One place stands as their beacon of hope. The Pet Resource Center of Hillsborough County, where you can adopt your very own superhero. Adopt a dog. Find your sidekick and unlock the power of unconditional love. Suit up, show up, and adopt today. For more information, visit hcfl.gov/pets.
Good morning and welcome to the Circuit 13 Community Advisory Board meeting. Today is Friday, August 15th, 2025, and let the record reflect that the meeting has started at 10:01 a.m. As you will see on our agenda, we will start with the roll call. Madam Secretary, would you please conduct the roll call for required members?
Yes, ma'am. Irene Maslanick? Maslanick, thank you. And Tina Mobley?
Here.
Gina Justice?
Judy Royston for Gina Justice.
Captain Craig Roberts?
Present.
Lieutenant Robin Polk?
Present.
I know Commissioner Cameron Cepeda is excused, as well as Chrissy Dorian is excused. Conchita Canty-Jones? Demisha DeSella? Pastor Alfred Johnson? Here. Reverend Dr. Glenn Dames Jr.? Claire Reynolds is present. Markeisha Thomas is excused. Sarah Griming?
Good morning, President.
Thank you. Rob Parkinson?
Here.
And I know Kimberly Williams is, has an excused absence, so give me 1 second. We have quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And I would like. Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
Beth, I'm so sorry.
Beth
Excuse
Passek.
me. I
Now you
apologize.
know we have quorum.
Thanks, Beth. I appreciate that.
Thank you. And I did want to announce that with our state attorney, Irene Maslanick has been approved by the Chief Probation Officer to replace Travis Coy from the State Attorney's Office. Welcome. Likewise, Captain Craig Roberts has been approved by the Chief Probation Officer that will be replacing Major Kuttner from the Sheriff's Department. We welcome you to the board. If you'd all stand with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now move towards the adoption of the agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
A second?
Second.
Adoption agenda approved. And the review and approval of minutes before you and previously provided are the minutes from our prior CAB meeting in May 2025. Are there any reviews, edits, corrections that we need to address at this particular time of the minutes?
I motion to approve. I motion to second.
We have a motion to approve. Second?
I will second.
Second is approved. Minutes are approved. Thank you. Now moving on to our standing business, discussion of unfinished business. Vice Chair, I don't know that we had unfinished business to discuss today.
I don't think there's anything under that category. We do have some other things that are ongoing that are listed further down on the agenda, such as the Holt Service Excellence Award.
Yes.
But we do have that listed separately.
Yes, sir. Thank you. With that being said, we will move on to member updates. For the Department of Juvenile Justice, Probation, and Community Intervention, I wanted to provide an update that Governor DeSantis has appointed a new secretary to the Department of Juvenile Justice. His name is Matt Walsh, W-A-L-S-H, and we look forward to serving under his leadership. I have not been advised of the date that he will officially take the reins of the department, so we look forward to his leadership. Moving on to probation, we currently have 192 youth that are on a supervision status within Circuit 13. This includes probation, conditional release, and post-commitment probation youth. Likewise, we have approximately 17 youth that are on some form of supervised released home detention status. In addition, we have approximately 19 youth that are currently on electronic monitoring, whether it's a condition of their supervised release status or a condition of their probation supervision. I did want to provide an update, and when we get to detention update, perhaps they can elaborate the information that I have regarding the new detention center. Official breaking and starting the process is set for October 2025. And I have a few more items that I wanted to bring to the advisory board's attention today. Recently, we have the department has contracted with Southwest Keys to provide redirections family functioning therapy. This contract has been initiated. It is in regards to providing in-home therapeutic treatment to youth ages 11 to 19 for a period of 3 to 4 months. These are youth that we will be referring that are on supervision with the department. So they must be on probation, post-commitment probation, or conditional release. In addition, we have contracted with the Youth Advocacy Program to provide SNAP services. SNAP is the acronym for Stop, Now, and Plan. This is part of the Youth Justice Initiative for youth, again, that are on some form of community supervision with the department. They are accepting referrals ages 12 through 19. It's approximately 13-week sessions with the youth. And as an incentive, the department is also giving credit for a successful completion, meaning community service work hours credit towards the requirements of their court order. And lastly, the department has contracted with Twin Oaks Project Connect. They will be providing aftercare services for youth that are currently in residential commitment, and of course, they will be providing aftercare services when released. And it's a different type of contract, a different process, but they will be heavily involved with the juvenile probation officer regarding their sanctions and referring as needed for additional services and overlay while they're out back in the community for successful transition for hopefully a positive and successful termination from the department services. So those are the updates that I particularly have at this moment. Does anyone have any questions for me? Thank you. With that being said, we'll move on to item number 2, which is detention. We have Major Britton here today to provide an update.
Good morning, all. Ms. Hammersley basically elaborated everything. The groundbreaking is set for October of 2025 this year. The building will be built over off Columbus where Tampa Residential and Tampa Bay Girls Academy is, so it'll be in that same compound area. We currently have 68 youth. Out of our 68, we currently have 18 courtesy holds from other counties. But that's basically it for detention-wise. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Major Britton? Thank you, sir. We will now move on to item number 3, which is a delinquency citation. Director Royston?
Good morning. So with schools out, our referrals are down by 50%. For the month of June, we received 23 citations, with the dominant charge being petty theft with 12 referrals. And for July, we received 19 referrals, and the dominant charge was DV with 6 referrals. And anybody have any questions? What was the June number, please? June was 23, and July was 19.
Thank you, Director Royston. Item number 4, Hillsborough County Children's Services.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to follow up on some items that we discussed last month. As a reminder, we're in a new contract year, and our new contract does not include intensive case management any longer. So we are providing since court-ordered programs, community counseling programs, and residential respite programs, but no longer that intensive case management oversight. Additionally, Mr. Parkinson brought up at our last meeting that Senate Bill 1344 was on the governor's desk. It has been signed, and this heavily focuses on updating Chapter 984, which is the Sins-Fins statute. And this has retitled the statute. Get ready. Let me know when you're ready because the name is very long. It is now Children and Families in Need of Services. prevention and intervention for ungovernable and truant and runaway youth. Uh-huh. Prevention and intervention.
That job's not looking as good as it did before.
And there's no acronym for this yet because it doesn't gel yet. All right, are we at ungovernable yet?
No, so prevention and intervention for ungovernable.
For ungovernable, truant, and runaway youth.
Children.
Children, oh, sorry.
It's okay. For the benefit of our secretary, we
can send
actually
that to
have a
you.
hard copy of the bill analysis for you to read verbatim, should you need to.
In your free time. As that title mentions, the department's position with 984 is really to focus on truancy in our school system. So our programs are going to heavily focus on that and work with our truancy courts. Outside of that, I currently have 2 TCO court-ordered youth returning from last school year right now in our residential program. We have 3 community-placed youth and 1 DCF youth. And knock on wood, no domestic violence youth for civil citation or domestic violence at this time. And that is all I have.
You said 1 DV youth currently?
That was 0
0.
for now.
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Grimmick? Thank you. And now we're going to go on to general member updates, and I wanted to bring up attention, Pat McGee from DJJ Prevention is here today. Likewise, we wanted to get updates from our, what's the name of that? G4S, GPS. Character GPS had some updates. Yes, so Ms. McGee?
Good morning, everyone. First of all, let me just say it's a pleasure to actually be back with you. It's been almost a year. Thank you. It's been almost a year. I have moved on into a different position. I'm now serving as the deputy director under the director and headquarters in Tallahassee. So therefore, I'm covering a lot of grounds and hiring staff.
Congratulations.
I don't know if that's good or not. We'll see. We'll talk later.
It sounds very important.
Well, in my place, we have hired Ms. Bree. Morning. And she will be housed in the probation office off of 301. She will be responsible for attending the meetings, and she will also be bringing updates to you as it relates to the Department Office of Prevention Services. But while I have the floor, I would like to kind of mention a couple of our initiatives. The initiatives that we have going forward, which everybody is quite aware of, which is our Gaining Appreciation by Adjusting Perspectives, which is a dialogue between law enforcement and our youth. We have started those gaps up again. And I believe the next gap that we're actually looking at, because we launched what we call One Mentor, One Child, which is our mentoring initiative, which is October the 8th. We will be over at the Housing Authority, but over at their program office, which is at the Riverview Community Center. More information to come. We will be sending out invites for those that are interested in finding out a little bit more about mentoring and prevention, as well as we will also do our GAP, which will be that evening. And I know that some of the officers are in here are quite familiar with the GAP, which means I will be reaching out for some officers to kind of serve in that capacity. The other ones that we do have, which you're all aware of, which is All Pro Dad, which is encouraging fathers to be more involved with their children. So we've been going out into elementary schools, middle schools, looking for schools to host. And we also provide a $500 stipend to get them started. So if you know of any schools that would be interested, please let myself know or Ms. Bree. And lastly, the only thing else that I would like to report is our other initiative, which is the Facts Your Future. It's actually an initiative that was launched by Lady DeSantis, which the department has kind of taken over to a degree, meaning we are the boots on the ground. So therefore, we are actually offering that services to our high schools. So if you know of any high schools that are interested in finding out a little bit about prevention, intervention, about substance abuse, we kind of bring the assembly to them, we bring the speakers to them, and we also come with bearing gifts. So if you want to know any more information about anything that I've said, please, please, please pull me aside. I'd be glad to tell you a little bit more. And if not with me, you'll also have Ms. Bree. And that's all that I have to report. If there's any questions, of course.
Can you provide Bree's last name?
I'm going to let Bree do that.
Savalia, and I can spell it if need be. S is in Sierra, A, V is in Victor, A, G is in Golf, L is in Lima, I, A.
So should we anticipate Bree coming to our future Circuit Advisory Board meetings?
She will be involved in all of your.
Okay, and I will update the master email distribution list, so you're included as well.
Thank you.
Any questions for prevention? Okay. And Mr. Kane, Mrs. Kane?
Yeah, Jeff and Debbie Kane, Character GPS. So with our new grant, it's really expanding what we had been doing with our Character GPS program that was generally a 6-week or 6-month, half-a-year program of the semester. Now we're going to be providing up to 12 months of support for kids. So once they finish our program, the goal is to continue to provide a Character GPS mentor club, and so that we can continue to help kids. So as we had already been working with kids in the detention center in Polk County, we go Saturdays to teach our class. When they're released, we're now going to be building a club so that we can continue to help them stay crime-free. The goal is to keep them in services for 12 months in the hope that by evidence-based programming that has shown a significant gain in supporting those kids to get onto a path for success. So that's our challenge, should we choose to accept it. So we are providing in each of our club meetings a segment on career planning. And so we're taking experts in all the different fields, and I see many experts here that on a Zoom call can provide 10 minutes to kind of summarize the career that you're in, why you chose it, what kids can do to prepare if they're interested in that career. And so if you'd be interested in being one of our expert heroes for the day, to be on a Zoom call with us with our students, we would greatly appreciate that, because it's going to be many, many weeks that we need to create content for the kids to learn the different careers that are available to them. Thank you.
Mr. Kane, can you provide the contact number and email address?
Yes. So my number in my pocket 24/7, except when I'm in the shower, is 813-966-9977, or email Jeffrey, Jeffrey, @charactergps.org. So we look forward to hearing from some of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Chief. I also want to let everybody know about the Child and Adolescent Substance Use Forum for Professionals. This is happening on August 27th from 9 to noon at the Feeding Tampa Bay Causeway Center. And it is being put on in collaboration with Hillsborough County, Phoenix House, Bill Curry Ford, Mickey Keenan Law, and the Crisis Center. And it is, what to expect is just expert speakers on youth substance use, community resources, networking opportunities, and real-life recovery stories. I believe we only have a couple of spots left, but if you're interested, please let us know. Thank you.
And do you have an address or phone number? I know you have the flyer there.
I do. Address is 3624 Causeway Boulevard. This is the new Feeding Tampa Bay site.
Oh, yes.
That's on Causeway. 9 to noon with a light breakfast at 8:30. And huge shout out to Stephanie Krager, because this was her brainchild, and she has carried this from thought to actual implementation. So thank you, Stephanie, for taking leadership in this area.
Thank you. Do we have any other updates from our membership?
I have an announcement
Yes, sir.
from the county's Human Trafficking Commission. They have been working diligently to bring in subject matter experts to cross-train our system of care, and they actually were able to get the Department of Justice to fund an upcoming training, which is next Friday. State Attorney Susie Lopez is hosting it in her auditorium, and the Public Defender's Office is actually providing continuing law education units for attorneys to attend. But it's designed to provide systems-based professionals with knowledge and skills to identify indicators of sex and labor trafficking and respond to witness involved in the criminal justice system using a trauma-informed approach. We are bringing in a subject matter expert from the U.S. Advisory Council on Human Trafficking, Suleiman Massoud. We also have Rita Peters from the Florida Attorney General's Office, who is the primary person for human trafficking prosecutions there. And then Misty Halsey from Seal of Freedom, who's the Director of Outreach and National Law Enforcement. So we have a very good cross-section, broad-based. We've broken it up into two sessions, a morning session, which is targeting law enforcement and attorneys. And then there's an evening session from 12:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., which is targeting the social work system of care. So all of our community providers. I know it's kind of late notice, but we found out that when this went out to all of our system professionals, there were some gaps in the announcements. So they asked that I reoffer it to juvenile justice stakeholders. You actually have a form in front of you that looks like this. There's a little code that you can scan to register. This would be great for folks that are screening youth, like for instance, at the JAC. We have kids being administered the HTST human trafficking screening tool. We have staff that are doing outreach in the community. We have DCF staff that are screening kids for human trafficking. This would be an excellent training for them. So it is free of charge, and there will be lunch provided.
Thank you, Mr. Parkinson. I did previously receive this and forward it out to our probation team and our juvenile assessment center team as well.
Thank you
So
very much.
They are aware.
Oh, one other announcement from my office. We have a new staff member, Geraldine Jean-Charles, right here to my right. She just joined our office this week for a position that's been vacant for about a year. We are very lucky to have her. And her supervisor tells me that she's eventually going to be assigned some of our prevention programs, like JREP, like our FAMA program. So would you like to say anything, Geraldine?
I'm happy to be here. Good morning, and thank you.
Welcome.
Well said, well said.
Any other member updates? Yes.
I just had a brief update. The Juvenile Mental Health Court is changing judges. Effective end of September, Judge Kimberly Brennan is going to be taking over Juvenile Mental Health Court away from Judge Shanti. It's going to change how we staff it. It won't change the schedule right away, but it's just something for people to keep in mind that that's going to be a slight change in how things are done. And it's an ongoing project for the court system always. We just found out yesterday officially with the AO, so it's fresh off the press.
Yes.
Kimberly Brennan. She's already the Division F judge, so we're taking that problem-solving court away from problem-solving court and folding it back into juvenile, which we think actually will benefit the children better because we can offer more subject matter experts on that, on the issues the kids have, and less on the general adult problem-solving. So we're hoping it'll be a positive step for the court in general.
That's great news, and I know Judge Shanti had a very heavy workload, as at one point he was handling most of our specialty courts, if not all of them.
He was. He has been handling all of our specialty courts, and so I think it's a really natural fit. Judge Brennan already does truancy, and she also handles all of our DCF-involved kids, so it's a very natural fit for her to handle it. It's just going to more on her plate, but she's capable.
I think the only constant is change for us. But we also have another opportunity insofar as the Juvenile Mental Health Court, the initial funding was provided through a joint county and Department of Children and Families Criminal Justice Reinvestment Act grant, which has gone away this year. It's ran its course, and now we're picking up with some local funding from the Board of County Commissioners. So we'll have some flexibility in how those dollars are distributed.
That's exciting, and we're restaffing it at the state attorney's office. It's going to be a new thing, and I believe the public defender's office will be in the same boat, but I can't speak for them.
Yes.
It's a great program. I'm very proud of the specialty courts that we have here in Hillsborough County. If you look across the state, the jurisdictions that don't have any special courts versus the ones that do, how those cases are handled, how the individuals going through court are handled, how the individuals are linked to appropriate services during their court intervention and after is just absolutely incredible. And I've had the opportunity to observe all of our courts, and I'm just very proud of what we've been able to do here in Hillsborough. And a lot of that is due to our court administration folks and our chief judges, so thank you for everything you do to make sure that we have a unique therapeutic approach for our justice-involved kids. Thank you.
Thank you for that update. Do we have any other updates? Yes, sir.
In the Faith Action Ministry Alliance, we provide preventative care. What we've noticed over the years is that the relationship building with the kids is one of the greatest deterrents. One of the examples is one of our parents down the road. We just had it on the news. Her grandchild wasn't in our services. He's too old to be in our services. Has just been charged with a major violent crime, major. And then we wanted to, if you compared that child that was from the same family, but just not in our program, the two children under him that were in our program that went through our school and our after-school mentoring program, the relationships that you build with the kids, those two kids, two boys, they're cool, they're not bookworms, these kids, these kids are cool. But when they went to high school, when they left our school, they're in AP courses, very well disciplined and doing well. So anyhow, we were looking to expand the philosophy of our program more and more into the children's boards through the Lutheran Services program. We have a working relationship with them. The state, however, they did not fund the tutoring program this year, which was our entryway into the mentoring. So we were entering in with the mentoring provided by the school choice program, but the legislature did not fund that statewide for all the different agencies. That would have posed a big problem for our organization, but FAMA has enough community support to where we are able to keep critical staff on board, and we are merging. We're going to tutor anyhow, only because the tutoring is the perfect draw for these children that are in that context. And then with our evidence-based programming, you merge those two, so we're still going to be able to serve those children. There's going to be nearly 400 of them. So we took a big financial hit, to be frank with you, from the state, a big one. That was a big hit, and they let us know with very little time. But anyhow. But we're still out there. Over the summer, we had about 82 children that were at the Grant Park Center itself, and then we still operated in all the children's boards throughout the community. And then we also introduced ourselves to the county parks, and we'll see if we can expand in there. We are experiencing decent results.
That's great information, Pastor. I appreciate that. Does anyone have any questions? With that being said, we're going to move on to item number C on our standing business, which
Kelly?
is,
Sorry.
oh, I didn't see you, Ms. Justice. Hi.
Right after she said she was here for me, I snuck in. That's okay.
Madam Secretary, thank you. Thank you.
Could I
Yes.
just make a brief announcement?
Yes.
I wanted to let the members of the Juvenile Justice Board know that I have entered my resignation with the Chief Judge of the 13th Judicial Circuit. I will no longer be court administrator soon because I have been appointed to a new position. I will become the clerk of court for the U.S. Court of International Trade, effective September 15th of this year. So I've enjoyed my time working with many of you, and I really appreciate the collaboration and cooperation that we've been able to achieve over the years. My successor will be identified hopefully soon. We are going to be posting a public recruitment, hopefully next week, early next week, and more information will be coming. I do hope that that individual will be welcomed and will be able to endeavor to engage with you in the coming months and years.
And thank you. Should I reach out prior to the next meeting to Chief Judge to see who your replacement is for his consideration for approval to be his designee here?
I will move that Judy be my replacement in the interim until there is a new court administrator.
Excellent. Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our subcommittee reports. Any information, any updates to provide the membership today? Director Royston on the data decision, pre-arrest delinquency citation issuances. I know previously you completed your report, and that's where we're in the process of working through that, the recommendations of the committee.
So there is an update. We made our recommendations back in May, and one of the things that we looked at were direct file cases. And these are cases that law enforcement sends directly to the state attorney's office, and it could be for their review or the youth was unavailable at the time. So once they were sent to the state attorney's office, they would get a case number. Once you get a case number, you're no longer eligible for civil citation. So as of July 24th, the state attorney's office has been sending them directly to us, avoiding the case number from the clerk's office. So we've gotten 8 new cases that met the civil citation criteria and are in our program.
That's major progress. Thank you so much for all the work that you did on that. Significant progress.
Can I just add, the state attorney's office is going to continue to track those cases. We're trying to keep track of how we can better do our end of the system, and we are trying to work with our law enforcement partners to make sure that we're getting the citations where they needed. We're obviously motivated, just like everyone else, to get them in the citation program, but we are aware of the gaps, so we're trying to sort of figure it out. We have a spreadsheet going, so we're happy to help, and it's important to us as well. So.
Thank you. Any questions for Director Royston? Our next item will be student achievement. However, our subcommittee chair is not here today, Ms. Dorian, and I'm not sure if there's any updates that we do have. I do not believe the subcommittee has convened since our last Community Advisory Board in May.
It has not, and I believe that they had worked with the school district to submit the report that was required to the Department of Education, and they were waiting or pending approval by Department of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Parkinson. And lastly, our subcommittee on the Julian M. Holt Service Excellence Award. I know our chair is not present today. Do you have any updates, Mr. Parkinson?
So I don't have any recent updates. I asked Ms. Canty Jones to just inform me when we started receiving nominations, and she did. So I know we have at least one, but I haven't gotten an update since then.
Okay, thank you. And I previously have included that when sending out the all email to the board members and the community stakeholders as well. In addition, providing that continuously with our probation staff, our detention staff, anybody and everybody at our community management team meetings, the internal ones with DJJ, anybody that has a person in mind, just submit that form and let the subcommittee make those determinations on who's going to be awarded, because I believe there's 2, right?
We have, I mean, technically this body created 1, but we've had 2 on a few years because the nominees were so close in quality.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that we place as much recognition on those folks that go above and beyond as we can. So if we need to do that, we can actually do that. But again, if you have staff that are going above and beyond to help the youth involved in the juvenile justice system or at risk of being involved in the juvenile justice system, please, please, please make a nomination. This is not like a grant application where you have 50 pages of narrative. It's one page. Tell us about what this individual has done, how they've gone above and beyond. I think we've had some groups nominated as well, how they've gone above and beyond to serve our youth. And then the committee will review it and then make subsequent recommendations for the award. It's a great opportunity to recognize them. We typically bring them before the full council in November, I believe it is. And they receive a very nice plaque and the recognition, and of course it's broadcast on TV and all that. So it's a great opportunity. In years past, a lot of our providers didn't have the opportunity to get the recognition that they deserved. I think DJJ has done a good job to level up some of the funding to some of these programs in the last couple of years and recognize their level of effort. But this is another opportunity to just go above and beyond that and recognize them. We've also seen that some of the people that have been recognized have continued to climb the ladder within the juvenile justice continuum and have become leaders. So we want to certainly recognize them and help them along that path.
Rob, if I just might add, this award is for not just administrative professionals. This is really for direct services professionals. And in the last years, I think we overlooked that population of case managers, clinicians, direct care staff. So please look deep within your organizations at stellar employees that are really shining. We really would love to highlight some of the work being done with the boots on the ground directly.
Thank you for clarification on that. Absolutely. Well, now we're going on to new business. Item number A, new focus area, introduction, innovation zones. Our CAB, we have not yet specified what an innovation zone would be for our particular county circuit. We're still addressing the higher priority areas when it's pre-arrest delinquency citation and student achievement. I know there was discussion as far as we could perhaps focus on one of those two ones to make it an innovation zone, but as far as I'm aware of, we have not created one.
We have not, and we've talked about a few priorities for us. We talked about the DV respite situation. We've talked about juvenile justice civil citation. When last we discussed this issue, I think the majority of folks were interested in continuing our efficiencies with civil citation. But the truth is that Director Royston is completing all the problem solving for us, along with the State Attorney's Office. So, I mean, we could pick that, and then it's kind of low-hanging fruit for us at this point because she's solving a lot of the problems that needed to be solved, her and the State Attorney's Office. There's still some things that need to be fixed. We also have some emerging challenges over the next few months with some changes at the Juvenile Assessment Center, and that's going to require us to all work together to make sure there's continuity of operations and processes. So again, picking, in my mind, that would be kind of a no-brainer, but that's just my opinion, and I'm one of many here.
Thank you, sir. We will move on to discussion of data and related questions. Mr. Parkinson, anything regarding data, or is there any requests from our board membership for data for presentation at our next CAB meeting?
So our State Attorney's Office was chairing that committee, and it hasn't met in some time. I think the Department of Juvenile Justice has made the data much readily available to us in years past. So it's been easier for us to make pretty quick data-informed decisions. So that's certainly a positive. The annual DJJ data was released for last fiscal year, recently.
Right.
It hasn't been posted on the system yet. I think it's still being reviewed.
Finalized.
I can tell you that looking at it, the costs went up, but not as much as I thought for juvenile detention. So that's a positive. So maybe we can talk about that at our next council meeting. We can talk about bed utilization and things like that. I think we're all expecting a much more significant hit than we received because of some of the bills that had passed mandating certain youth stay in detention longer. But again, it wasn't the hit that I thought it would be. So I'd be prepared to talk about that data at the next meeting if you would like, Madam Chair.
Yes, I would. I think we could benefit from that information.
Well, and the value to me is, obviously, we need to keep an eye on that. We need to use community-based services and reentry services to the greatest extent possible. We only want to put the kids in detention that need to be in detention. But I think it's also important because we need to look at cost versus benefit as a group. If we can provide a higher quality of service and a more clinically appropriate level of service for our youth in the community than putting them in detention, we should absolutely be doing that if it doesn't pose a public safety risk. So by looking at the data on where those services are needed and the utilization of our actual detention beds, it'll help inform this group.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Anybody, any other requests for data? Okay. Thank you. And next we have a presentation by AMI Kids Tampa, Executive Director Carla Lawton. Good morning.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to be here to shine the light on a much-needed program and that's been in Hillsborough County since 1971. We are AMI Kids Tampa. Our name previously, many years ago, was Associated Marine Institute. Over the years, more unified company approach, AMI Kids. But I'm here to bring forth some information about AMI Kids. We're inspiring change, impacting futures. In a nutshell, we are changing lives. We are having an impact on youth to where we're doing empowerment. We're changing that can't to I can. So as you see on the slide, we've been in existence over 55 years now, serving over 169,000 youth. Our success rate alone at AMI Kids Tampa has been, in 2024, was 80%. With that, we are a prevention program serving all boys within Hillsborough County, ages 11 to 17, grade 6 through 11th grade. Our referral process comes not only from diversion programs, DJJ itself, but it comes from parents. Parents may hear about the program from their neighbor or relative, and I want to check your program. I want to see what it's about. We serve 44 young boys. The number is small, but it allows us to really make an impact in those youth lives. Here we're community-based program. Again, prevention, all boys, much needed. We know we have the PACE Center for girls. Well, we have the boys now. So we're working our best to change their lives and have an impact. Here on our personal growth model, the journey. Our core components are treatment, education, workforce development, behavior skills training. Treatment, we have certified mental health counselors, as well as we have the FFT counselors that are going inside the homes in the afternoons or on the weekends or whenever they can catch the parents at home. Sometimes it's the grandparents, but they're making that impact after hours. Education and workforce, not only do we have certified teachers, but we also encompass the workforce development programming in. They are able to earn their Safe Serve certification, OSHA 10 certification, career readiness, learning how to properly fill out job applications, develop resumes, preparing them for that next step in life. If they would like to gain employment, We also have job counselors that will assist in facilitating that for them. The compass, the elements of our youth development, relationships. We all know it takes building positive relationships with the youth. We are aiming to tear those walls down so that we can really have an effect in their lives. Meaningful participation, that is having them buy into the program. What are we doing, or what can we bring? What can we do to have them buy into the system? What is their buy into? What would they like to see? So we're encompassing not only what they want, but what's needed in their lives. Community involvement, getting them out into the community. We do a lot with Metropolitan Ministries, Feeding Tampa Bay, taking those young boys into those facilities to provide assistance. So that way they're gaining not only the life skills, but also, you know what else can I do? I can do this on my own time, but then just broadening their horizons on things. And then challenge and engage programming. What we do has to be engaging to them. Again, developing feedback from them. What would you like to see? So it's not only just us facilitating what they need, but also having them buy into the program, letting us know what their needs are. Next part, what sets us apart from other programs? Our experiential education. With that, again, the education component, the core classes. Are they making progress in their classes? Are they making progress in their behavior? Because with that, they have opportunity to earn some of these rewarding trips, and these are, again, some hands-on opportunities. We have our summer challenge. Our summer challenge and winter challenge go hand in hand. That's where our program competes against other AMI programs twice a year. The summer challenge program takes place in South Carolina, so this gives students an opportunity to see what's out there, see what's past Hillsborough County, taking them out of their element, exposing them to the real world. Our Winter Challenge event is held in Gainesville once a year. Again, out of Florida, out of their neighborhood. Wilderness Challenge, that's our whitewater rafting trip that we do every September. Something different, something positive, something that these children may say, you know what, I want an opportunity to do that, or you know what, I really may want to make a career out of that. So it's just exposing them to the world. Marine Challenge, that is our yearly trip down in the Keys. The students spend 4 nights learning how to basically scuba dive, learning how to snorkel. Again, hands-on experience, opening up their horizons. The floating classroom, that's locally here. We have a boat yard that's on Gandy Avenue. And in partnership with Moat Marine Institute, these students are able to go out on one of our boats and actually do some science experiments. And then our legislative day takes place once a year, where all of Florida AMI programs converge on the Tallahassee, meeting with the various state legislators and senators. So it all exposes the youth to positive, that it can be within reach. Changing that can't to I can. I can be successful. I can be your next senator. I can be a scuba diver. So that's the one thing about AMI Kids, again, that sets us apart from regular school. We may be a school, but we're a one-stop shop. Education, workforce development, exposure. So our referral process is very simple. We, if the student has an IEP, we definitely need to review the IEP first, just to make sure that we can meet their basic educational needs. And then from that, if we can, we go ahead and we enroll that student. They're with us for 12 to 15 months, and we ask for that length of time just so that we can really make an impact in that young person's life. I have my case manager here. She has some referrals if any of you would like to review it, or if you may know someone. Again, the age range is 11 to 17, all boys, and we would just love the opportunity to further impact these young boys within Hillsborough County. So, do I have any questions?
Alfred Johnson with FAMA. The men involved, the involvement of males, of men, and is it pretty good?
Pretty good, yes. Male staff, I do my best to hire nothing but male staff. No females included, but it's strong male staff that will really have that impact, because those male staff are also the ones who will be supervising those overnight trips. So that is key. And I've attended a lot of trips as well, but taking that young man out of his environment and seeing them in a whole new world somewhere else, and the smiles on their face like, I never thought I would do this, or thank you for this opportunity, that's key. So my male staff is very important. They have to have that passion for wanting to make that change, help facilitate that change in their lives.
Thank you.
And Director
I don't have
Lawton, excuse me. Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't have a question, but I just want to commend you and your program. We have a lot of officers that speak very highly from the results. So your staff and y'all do a great job. And that's from the line officers that do mentoring with some of those boys. So great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And I did want to clarify that you do take school-based referrals as well.
Yes.
And community referrals, and naturally probation, DJJ referrals.
The referral process is open.
Yes.
It's open.
And no cost to the families.
No cost,
correct?
totally free. Only thing the young men have to do is put on their uniform, and our buses pick up, bring them to school, and that's it. We do the magic.
Well, thank you. Oh, we have, yes.
I just want to, I did what Lieutenant Polk said, that this program is really good. So for anybody who hasn't had an opportunity to talk to kids that have been out there, I've gone out, I've toured the school. I've also participated in a program where I had the opportunity to engage with some of the kids and have some discussions. These kids, when they are in this program, they are really impressive in some of the things that they're saying and how they think. It completely changes them. And this program is a wonderful program. So I highly commend you and recommend it. If you all know some people or want to make some referrals, this is a great opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Any further comments or questions? Thank you, Director
Thank you.
Lawton. We appreciate you today. Okay. We will now proceed with an overview of Senate Bill 1344. Vice Chair Parkinson has agreed to do a brief overview.
Absolutely. And Sarah, stole our thunder, but she covered most of the significant changes. Of course, for this group, it significantly changes what we have historically called SINS-FINS and the SINS-FINS process. When a bill like this comes down the pike, it always frustrates me because I say we're doing things well here, we have good processes. But what we have to recognize is that when legislation like this comes down, it's really sometimes targeting kind of the lowest common denominator in the state. And what I was told by Tallahassee is that there are some jurisdictions that are not as well developed in terms of their processes. And again, this is a big state with lots of judicial circuits, so we have to acknowledge that. But these amendments to Chapter 384 address some of the issues that have been happening across the state. So Sarah talked about how SINS-FINS changes will affect the county's children's services. But just wanted to point out that in addition to renaming this, which will probably all be retired by the time we come up with a new name, it really talks about the legislative intent of 384, and it's really about developing court processes for the limited purpose of early truancy and intervention. So sometimes we have seen historically that they're trying to combine target populations from prevention kids to kids that are actually involved in delinquent acts. And they're very often separate populations. So this bill does a better job of disambiguating those populations. It also changed some of the formats in terms of ensuring that children families receiving services have access to representation by a trained advocate. Again, we have a fairly robust program here, but elsewhere in the state that has not been the case. It also clarifies when a family is eligible for voluntary services, what those services might include, and the role of the case staffing committee and child study teams, so which was a little amorphic in the previous statute. It also provides that the circuit court, and only the circuit court, has exclusive jurisdictions over the judicial proceedings for early truancy intervention and the court processes. Again, I've been told that there's some county courts that tried to get involved elsewhere in the state. And it also clarifies that a child must be represented by counsel if a petition is filed alleging that he or she is in need of services. So again, we've had some situations across the state where that hasn't always been the case. The statutory changes also put some guidelines forth when you have children and families that are indigent, which again, clarifying some gaps in the system. And this is a big one where they've had some cases across the state. It clarifies that the use of detention care or a secure detention facility intended for juvenile delinquents or the use of a jail or similar facility is prohibited for a child under the jurisdiction under Chapter 384, so sins, fins cases. So my understanding is there's been some situations elsewhere in the state where some judges frustrated that youth were maybe not complying with sins, fins recommendations and services, and they were pulled into a locked detention type setting, which is absolutely not appropriate. So this clarifies that, and if there was any gray areas for the judiciary, this certainly points that out. I think we don't know what the impact of the workload is going to be on the system, and we'll be feeling ourselves out in the next 6 months to a year, what the requirements are going to be. I was also told that there's situations for kids that have been involved in sins fins where the stakeholders and providers weren't sure if they can send them to a medical hospital for medical care under Chapter 394, or if they were having a behavioral health crisis under the Baker Act, Chapter 394, or a substance abuse crisis under Chapter 393, Marchman Act, they didn't know if they had authority to send them for care. So this bill clarifies that, yes, absolutely, you have the authority to seek emergency care for those youth. Those are pretty much the major changes. And again, I know that those situations with the judges have been fairly isolated across the state, but this is just clearly to make sure that there's consistent processes across the entire state of Florida. Patrick had a question.
No question. I just wanted to mention that one thing that we might see locally is how it impacts the length of stay for the kids that come in for respite care. You know, I think that's something that they've really tried to, regulate in regards to when you're talking about some kids being quote-unquote court-ordered to shelter or having to stay in a certain setting. I think they're trying to address that by putting some hard limits on how long a child will be able to stay, depending on what their respite program is they're coming into us. So that's just something that, we're going to have to work through. As case by case,
that's a very good point. And again, in most parts of the state, sins fins are delivered by a nonprofit organization versus the situation and system that we have here. And the Board of County Commissioners provides such a high quality of services. If you were to consider regular sins fin services a Chevy, I would say we have a Cadillac here.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that because I'm a county employee, but because I've been to Children's Services and I see the things you do and I see the care that you provide. But this could impact, in terms of duration, the quality of care over the long haul and your ability to appropriately link kids to services on the back end.
Absolutely. When we're talking about, some, for example, some youth that might be identified as trafficking victims, right? We've been able to kind of work with our partners to make sure that we can transition them, a warm handoff to a more suitable program to make sure that they're successful in their future. And sometimes that's involved us extending stays where we could. So that's something that, is definitely in writing now that, these are the hard dates, but it's something that case by case that I've articulated with the folks in Tallahassee. I was at Florida Network QIC last week conference, and, it's something that we've just let them know that we're going to be calling them to make sure that we're continuing to provide the services that the community has become accustomed to, but working through those harder situations, especially when we're talking about impacts that we've seen in our area in regards to storms and whatnot last year and people being displaced. So a lot of moving parts, and we're going to try to do what we can and work with you all like we have in the past.
I'd also like to note to that point, one of the things that it's aligning is that the programs in prevention are aligning and working with the DCF process for LRTs. So across the state, we have not been using the LRT process consistently. We're super fortunate here because Beth runs a tight ship, and it works well to prevent kids from going in either system of care deeper. And so that wasn't consistently being provided to youth and families, and hopefully this is clear on how those processes should work more in tandem. Additionally, one of the things that this also does is it prioritizes the youth that should be served in respite services, and that was not clear previously about, and we saw that in our circuit, like if a kid had a civil citation or a court order, where they fall in prioritizing availability of services. And so that kind of makes it clear and consistent across the state.
I think between the three of us, we've covered the significant changes in the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Parkinson.
It takes a village.
And thank you likewise for providing the updates for us, Mr. Minzy, Ms. Grimmick. Where are we at now? Okay, wow, look at this. Do we have any public comments at this particular time, Madam Secretary?
No, ma'am.
Yes, please.
One thing that I didn't omit, and please forgive me, my office would probably kill me, but one of the things I wanted to mention is, how many folks in here have attended Restoring Hope Training Summit? Raise your hand. Okay. For those that have not attended Restoring Hope Training Summit, I invite you to come and be a part of it. Last year, we celebrated 30 years, and it was a joyful time. We had it during the Christmas holiday season, and we will remain having it in December, mainly because of the fact that during the month of October, where we normally, or November, we found out from last year that we can't beat Mother Nature. So therefore, we chose to change our summit time from those times to December. December 15th, put it on your calendar. You will be getting some notices in the mail just to remind you, because I know you're super excited, as I am, to see your faces at Restoring Hope Training Summit. So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned it. I forgot the flyers, and I was rushing out. But I will make sure Ms. Bree has them so that she can send that to, she can give it as a handout, maybe at your next meeting.
Thank you, and it is posted on the DJJ Public Access website as well.
Thank you.
Any other comments from our board members today? That being said, we will adjourn today's board meeting. It is 11:03 a.m. Thank you all.